claims improve life for Māori, and will improving life for Māori improve life for other New Zealanders?
The Honourable Chris Finlayson.
Yeah, settling treaty claims will, among other things, increase economic opportunities for iwi and their members, and I'm particularly optimistic that the agreements signed today, when finalised and legislated for, are going to inject substantial funds into Te Tauihu, and that's good for iwi and very good for the regions.
Come now to question number 9 in the name of the Honourable Pete Hodson.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Health and reads, is he contemplating the dismissal of Otago District Health Board Chair Richard Thompson? If so, why?
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Yes, because as Chair, Mr Thompson is accountable for leading a board that operates both effectively and efficiently. He has been chair of the boards since late 2001, during which time the largest fraud in the history of the New Zealand State Services was taking place at the Otago District Health Board. This fraud totalled nearly $17 million of taxpayers' money.
Speaker.
The Honourable Pete Hodson.
Does the Minister rank his judgment higher than the people of Otago who, when very well acquainted with the facts surrounding this fraud, judged that the Health Board members were part of the solution, not part of the problem, and re-elected every last one of them back to their jobs, Mr Thompson included? Or is the Minister blessed with some unique wisdom and insight?
Order.
Mr Speaker,
Tony Ryle.
I am not considering removing Mr Thompson from the board as an elected member. It is his position as chair that I am considering. This is a matter of accountability.
Paul Hutchison.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Health, can the Minister advise what health services could be brought for the people of Otago with $17 million?
Mr Speaker,
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
I can advise the member that $17 million would provide a significant number of services in the New Zealand Public Health Service in Dunedin. Over 1,100 knee replacements, or 1,200 primary hip replacements, or over 8,000 cataract operations, or nearly 700 coronary bypass operations.
The Honourable Pete Hodson.
Has the Minister read, does the Minister agree with the Otago District Health Board Chief Medical Officer, Richard Burton, who said that the Minister clearly had Mr Thompson, quote, in the crosshairs of a political point-scoring bazooka, close quote, and that Mr Thompson has, quote, the highest integrity and personal standards, close quote? If so, might the Minister consider improving his own integrity and personal standards to match those of Mr Thompson?
Mr Speaker,
The Honourable Tony Ryle.
a $17 million fraud occurred at the Otago District Health Board over 6 years, nearly all of which occurred under Mr Thompson's chairmanship of the Otago District Health Board. It is the largest public service fraud in the history of New Zealand. Accountability is a critical role for a chair.
The Honourable Pete Hodson.
Chairman, has it occurred to the Minister that should he sack Mr Thompson as chair, then Michael Swan, the guy Mr Thompson helped catch, will be sitting in his prison cell grinning from ear to ear? And why would that be a good thing?
Order. I just, in answering that question, I just alert members that in this particular case, just be careful because the people involved have not yet been sentenced. So I just urge care. The Honourable Tony Ryle.
Mr Speaker, I am considering the position of chair because accountability is a critical aspect of the role of chair.
We come now to question number 10 in the name of David Bennett.
Mr Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Transport and reads, what announcements has the Minister made on accelerating state highway projects?
Mr Speaker,
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
this morning the Prime Minister, with my humble assistance, announced that we will be accelerating $142 million worth of state highway projects. This funding is over and above that available from the National Land Transport Fund and will have an immediate impact on regional economies and their workforce. Further announcements will be made soon in regards to further increasing investment in New Zealand's state highway network.
Sandra Gowdy.
To the Minister, what benefits will the Waikato region receive as a result of this morning's announcements?
Mr Speaker,
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Replacement of the current one-lane Kopu Bridge has been included, meaning construction can commence in July of this year and be finished a year earlier than would otherwise have occurred. This bridge is a very long-standing source of frustration for people travelling to and from the Coromandel, going back many years. Members can expect further announcements on improving our state highway infrastructure in the near future.
Craig Foss.
Supplementary to the Minister. Will any projects be accelerated in the Hawke's Bay region?
Mr Speaker,
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
the Hawke's Bay will benefit from the acceleration of both the southern extension of the Hawke's Bay Expressway and the Matahorua Gorge realignment. These projects are worth a combined $55 million and will provide a significant boost to local contractors and suppliers.
The Honourable Darren Hughes.
Speaker, can the Minister confirm that 20% of the state highways that have been named today are being bought for by the grand total of 3 months at the enormous cost of $0? And isn't this symbolic of the half-hearted nature of the transport package he's announced today?
Confirm that one of the projects is...
Sorry. The Minister might call, please.
Sorry.
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I can confirm that one of the projects is being brought forward 3 months, which does not amount to bringing money across 1 year. But it's interesting that with a new minister and a new government, that the New Zealand Transport Agency seems to be able to work quicker than under the old government.
Amy Adams.
Supplementary question for the Minister. What projects in Canterbury were announced for acceleration this morning?
Mr Speaker.
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
I'm delighted to announce that construction work will finally be able to begin on the Christchurch Southern Motorway extension. This has been a long time coming. In fact, my colleague David Carter wrote to all Christchurch MPs back in June 2004, I believe, asking them to support this project. Members can expect further announcements on improving our state highway infrastructure in the near future.
Honourable Darren Hughes.
Mr Speaker, how can the country have any confidence in the figures used today by the Minister when yesterday he overstated the cost of the Waterview connection by only $750 million, made a mistake with transmission gully costings, and can he also confirm to the House that he's meant to be the Associate Minister of Finance?
Mr Speaker,
Honourable Stephen Joyce.
I quoted yesterday in regards to the Waterview connection were those from the business case commissioned by the previous government. The figures in relation to transmission gully were from the announcements made by the previous government as well.
We come now to question number 11 in the name of the Honourable Parakura Horomia.
Mr Speaker, to the Minister of Māori Affairs, did he make any submissions to the Minister of Labour on the minimum wage review? If not, why not?
Mr Speaker.
The Honourable Dr Peter Sharples.
Tēnā koe, tēnā tātou. Yes, I did.
Mr Speaker.
Parakura Horomia.
Mr Speaker.